It's 7:49. This is West Virginia Morning. I'm Chuck Anzelevich. With an eye to the future, a group in West Virginia is talking to the region's youth to capture their voices and perspectives about what comes next.
Sort of a sense of agency, or like giving that back to a generation that maybe doesn't feel like they have it as much as previous generations.
That story and more coming up on this West Virginia Morning. Support for West Virginia Morning is provided by Hope Gas, committed to the growth and development of West Virginia to strengthen the community. Information at wvisforhope.com. A lawsuit brought by the state of West Virginia against Apple, alleging the company's business practices safeguard child sexual abuse materials, will remain in state courts. Eric Douglas has more.
State Attorney General J.B. McCuskey sued Apple in February, alleging the company's reporting to the cyber tip line, the nation's centralized reporting system for online child sexual exploitation, lagged dramatically behind other major technology companies. In 2023, Apple made just 267 such reports. By contrast, Google filed nearly 1.5 million reports, and Meta filed more than 30 million. Apple attempted to move the case into federal court, saying that its mandatory reporting made it a person acting under a federal officer. The federal court rejected that argument and remanded the case to state court. Apple has filed notice to appeal the remand order. For West Virginia Public Broadcasting, this is Eric Douglas in Charleston.
A festival in Shepherdstown, is continuing a tradition of developing new American theater. Chris Schulz has more.
Since 1991, the Contemporary American Theater Festival has brought dozens of actors, writers, directors, and creatives to the campus of Shepherd University each year for a slate of new theatrical productions. This year's festival showcases 5 plays, including 4 world premieres that explore stories ranging from the refugee experience to the 24-hour news cycle era. In addition to the productions, the 2026 festival includes educational and community engagement activities like backstage tours, lectures, and post-show discussions. According to a press release, CATF is the only summer festival in the United States dedicated to producing new, fully staged American plays. The festival opens on July 10th and runs through August 2nd. For West Virginia Public Broadcasting, I'm Chris Schulz in Morgantown.
You're listening to West Virginia Morning on West Virginia Public Broadcasting. It's 7:52. We're expecting variable cloudiness, warm and humid today with a good chance of scattered showers and thunderstorms, especially this afternoon. Highs will be in the 80s. Tonight, a good chance of showers and thunderstorms before midnight, lows in the mid-60s to the low 70s. Tomorrow and Friday, warm and humid both days with scattered showers and thunderstorms, highs in the mid-70s to the mid-80s. Support for West Virginia Public Broadcasting is provided by the Contemporary American Theater Festival in Shepherdstown, featuring 5 new plays, plus discussions with the playwrights, directors, and more. July 10th through August 2nd. Information at catf.org. With the nation's 250th anniversary now behind us, many people are looking toward the country's future. It will ultimately be shaped by young adults that don't always have a place at the table. 100 Days in Appalachia director of video, Nick Curran, and editor-in-chief, Jesse Wright, recently sat down with reporter Chris Schulz to discuss a project amplifying those young voices.
100 Days in Appalachia has taken on this project around the nation's 250th anniversary. I believe it's part of a larger project called Us at 250.
So we are Appalachia at 250, which is part of a bigger project, which is US at 250 or Us at 250. And it is part of sort of a subset of projects called Dreams for a Shared Future. So centering youth voices in what the vision for America looks like as our nation takes this moment to reflect on its 250th anniversary. So I think the temptation when we look that far back at where we come, the question that naturally springs out of that is, what does the future look like? What does the next 250 years look like?
Nick, you've been out, you've been collecting some of these interviews. What have you heard so far?
pretty wide variety. In my experience with the project in particular, there's a film we're producing that has right now 4 participants who we've given cameras to film their own experiences. And then I'm dropping in periodically to talk with them, catch up, see what they've been up to, and film like scenes with them in general. We've also done a few workshops in Morgantown and in Elkins. And like, I guess in the context of like how we're looking forward in terms of like AI, the future of work, whatnot. A lot of these younger people are like, they're rejecting AI in this really interesting way. And even like almost like this digital space, like we've given them these early 2000s camcorders that are tactile and really fun with power zooms. And like they react to those in really interesting ways where like they'll just pick it up and start interviewing each other, like almost like naturally. And that's what's been really useful to getting like very real, authentic answers from them about like where they are in their lives. And a lot of that oscillates wildly from like, please get me out of here, to like, I'm at school and I need to go to work next, to like we working with a musician who's also like self-funding a tour. So it's like a lot of very different, disparate experiences spread across the state.
Why did you all feel it was so important to focus on young people for this project?
I think it's like a sort of a sense of agency, or like giving that back to a generation that maybe doesn't feel like they have it as much as previous generations. And that's what we were doing with the camera kits that we built out. Jesse, do you want to take that?
Part of it is just because there tends to be low power for young people in Appalachia throughout. I'd say it's not a West Virginia problem specifically. We see these issues in every Appalachian state. You could even call it a rural issue. I know that some of our friends, like at Daily Yonder and some of the other outlets that are covering rural spaces, have seen this sort of pattern where this lack of agency leads to despondency, leads to a lack of investment in the communities around them. They see leaving as the only way. So this returns some agency to them, even in small ways. It's saying, here's a way that you can tell your own story to a larger audience. This isn't being narrated for us by other people, by older people, by people from outside of the region. So it's really a co-creation. We want to bring our expertise, someone like Nick's ability to bring lots of threads together and form narrative out of material. But we want that material to come from young people so they see themselves in this shared vision of what this place could look like in the future, that they are invested in what that future can look like in a way that you wouldn't if you were prescribing a course of action or you were prescribing tools.
So Nick, what shape is this all going to take? I mean, it sounds like quite a lot of material to sort through.
Ideally, the way that this takes shape is a short film largely made from the perspective of our younger participants. I think we still have one person that we're still trying to cast, but generally everyone has taken to it really well with like a lot of encouragement, but like off the bat, very little encouragement.
One thing that they can see right now is our social media feed. And a lot of the interaction that we're having with that youth space is happening already. We've made several calls for submissions. So your audience might, subscribe to our newsletter and you'll see those specific requests answering a prompt. That's kind of our role, is to create the space for people to think about what a future could look like, but also reflect on the past. We'll have a big event, culminating event in October at WVU. We're calling it a hackathon, but it's really just sort of a way to brainstorm our way through the material that we've captured, highlight some of the art that is created, some of the projects that are created. There's still plenty of opportunities for people to participate, especially the young people in your lives, but we're taking submissions across the board. Just keep an eye out for those calls, and please, the more material, the stronger this project will be.
That was Jesse Wright and Nick Curran of 100 Days in Appalachia speaking with Chris Schulz about their Appalachia 250 project. To read a longer version of the interview, visit our website, wvpublic.org. West Virginia Morning is a production of West Virginia Public Broadcasting, which is solely responsible for its content. Support for our news bureaus comes from Shepherd University and the Marshall University School of Journalism and Mass Communications. Eric Douglas produced today's show. I'm Chuck Anzalevich. This is West Virginia Public Broadcasting.